great day starts now.
We're also helping you clean out the clutter in your life. He's been called the most organized man in America. Here to show you how to unstuff your life, welcome Andrew Mellen. Okay, I gotta tell you, I'm gonna ask the audience here. How many of you have been like at your house and all of a sudden everything's shut off? And you're thinking, I thought I paid the power bill. And then you find that big pink one stuffed in a drawer underneath something, right? We miss out on a lot of things in life by not being organized, and we always feel on edge.
Exactly, exactly. Where I'm going to show you how to unstuff your life and kick the clutter habit in 3 easy steps, and that's all about unloading, sorting, and reloading. So we're going to start by just unloading the entire space so that we know exactly what the structure of the room is.
Okay.
So that when we come to put stuff back in it, we know exactly what the bones of the room is like.
Yeah, and starting with a bunch of stuff that shouldn't even be in there.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Often there's a bunch of stuff in your office or any room that doesn't actually belong in the room itself. So we're going to start with all of this stuff and make it neutral so that we can start to load it back in.
The kids' toys, I love that.
Exactly.
A lot of work is being done in that office, right? All right. Taking off all that stuff.
That's right.
Yeah, because it also just frees your mind to be able to see a clean room,
Oh, exactly. I mean, when you have no visual clutter, then you can actually think clearly and have a better sense of what's ahead of you so that you don't misplace your electric bill and your power doesn't get turned off.
Yeah. All right, well, you keep working because we need our power to stay on here in the studio. And we'll check back in with Andrew to see the progress in this mock home office makeover. Let's check in with professional organizer Andrew Mellen. Earlier, he gave us rule number 1 of getting organized, unloading. So, Andrew, what is the next step?
The next step is sorting, and what you want to do when you're sorting is you're trying to match up like items with like items and trying to figure out how much of everything you have. So if you come across 2 copies of the same book, or suddenly you discover, I have 3 scissors, but I only have 2 hands. Why do I have 3 pairs of scissors? This is the part of the process where you're trying to figure out how much to keep and how much to let go of so that when we do reloading, everything's going to go back and you're going to be able to get to it easily and simply.
All right, thank you very much.
Yep.
Most of us have an area or areas around the house that are not organized, and getting it together is constantly on your to-do list. Well, professional organizer Andrew Mellen is making progress in our mock home office step by step. So what's your next step?
Now we're into the reloading, Deborah. So just like with any other real estate proposition, you want to be thinking location, location, location. So the stuff that you use most frequently, you want that nearby, like your office supplies. Things that you don't use that frequently, like maybe a cap or a hair dryer. You want to, this could either be returned to the bathroom, which is where I think it belongs, but if you blow dry your hair at your desk a lot, I would just put it someplace with maybe your snacks and more office supplies that you're not using every day.
All right, thank you. We'll check back in with you later.
Great.
Throughout the show, he's been showing us how to kick the clutter, and here's what we started with. Take a look. This office was kind of messy. Things in there didn't belong there, and now look at it. Well, no wonder he's known as the most organized man in America. Author of Unstuff Your Life, Andrew Mellen. All right. So, Andrew, you know, one of the things I find is that if my space around me at home is messy, I feel messy. I just don't feel organized.
Right. Well, when you want to get organized, whether it's the studio audience, anybody at home, for you, everything is based on my organizational triangle, which has 3 legs. 1 home for everything, like with like, and something in, something out.
Yeah, yeah.
So when we're talking about 1 home for everything, we mean literally everything has a home. It's either in its home or it's being used and it goes back to its home. And if you match that with like, you'll never not be able to put your hands on anything in 30 seconds or less.
Right, and the other thing is don't throw anything away. I have to tell you that once I start like cleaning out, because I'm kind of task-oriented, I like wait for everything to pile up and then I go, I can't stand it. And then I just get frustrated and I just throw everything out.
No, you don't want to.
So if you're a dumpster diver, come to my house. You'll find some stuff every now and then.
Yeah, well, that's, I mean, when you sort through stuff, that's going to prevent you from just willy-nilly grabbing anything just because you're so frustrated that you're just going to pitch it in the garbage. You want to actually take the time to sort through stuff, figure out what goes, what stays, and then you'll avoid that.
Yeah, and don't you find that people are a little more efficient at what they're doing when their space is nice and neat?
Oh, totally. I mean, you can find anything you need in 30 seconds or less, and you are not distracted by constant clutter all over the space.
Yeah. All right, we have some audience members who have some questions and need some help there, and so let's start with our first audience person. Who is that? Hi there, is that Jerry?
How you doing? This is Jerry.
Good. What's your question?
My question, Andrew, what can I do to stop procrastinating to get things done? My biggest problem is procrastination.
That's an excellent question, Jerry, and a lot of people don't know how to just get into it. So what I'm going to tell you is First of all, find the area that makes you the craziest, where you're the most bottled up, and that's the place to start. The second thing you want to do is set a timer. For whether it's 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, when that timer goes off, you're a winner, and it will provide the impetus for you to do it again tomorrow. Failure breeds failure, success breeds success. So you get it done, the timer goes off, you're a winner, tomorrow you'll be able to do it again.
Or, Jerry, do you have kids? Do you have kids, Jerry?
I have no kids at this time.
Oh, because I was going to say you could just pay them to do it. Yeah, you just pay them to do it. All right, great question there. Lydia quickly wanted to know, how do you prioritize organization, and what are cheap, inexpensive ways? A lot of things might be just little canisters you have around the house.
Totally. You do not need to. You do not need to go to any big box stores and buy a bunch of containers. You can use Ziploc bags. You can use old shoe boxes. Anything that's going to help you to corral stuff and put it together, like with life.
We got to toss to break, and we'll come back and wrap it up.
Okay.
All right. Bye. Andrew has a workshop coming up this weekend from 2 to 5 at Nia Moos. If you mention Great Day, get 20% off. Find out more about his book at greatdayhouston.com. And guess what? Someone's winning the book Unstuff Your Life by Andrew Mellen, and that goes to Meredith McAllister. Meredith McAllister.